Welcome to Provda. Population? Our last report said somewhere around 80 million, but you can never tell around these parts. Enjoy your stay, Tiertova Svenia. Provda has a bit of a colored past. You see, it was only about 700 years ago that the continent began to get colonized, coming from multiple break-off colonies from the Aushin Collective. We set out for this land for independence. Little did we know there would be one hell of a fight when we got here. You see, this land is chilled to the bone. And not only that, but maybe one or two species of giant spider evolved to be apex predator in these conditions. Now? Well, we may as well be on top of the world. I mean, our capital city, full of all the most important people in the land, is a giant floating island above another, less fortunate population, one could say. But we give back to the people at every turn, for resilience is key, and our people are some of the most resilient I know. That said, we do have some internal disputes. Revolutionaries keep popping up, wanting to take all the hard-earned, honest goods that we have provided for the people to care for themselves. And aside from our enemies on the inside, well, it's not as if the Aushin Collective ever forgot about us. We have 5 major cities. Likely, if you find yourself visiting, then you'll find yourself in the city of Rosvetsfjord. It is quite a nice looking place, da? Home to the majority of our mining operations. There isn't much to say about it. It's very mine. It's very trade. It's where new people come in. It's where many people live, and it is most definitely a sight to see. The only interesting thing about it is that, well, not too long ago, we may have uncovered something in the permafrost that a lot of people are definitely going to want to see. Moving on. I could not go without speaking of the Boreal Rink, a wide rink of boreal forest that one must cross to get to the capital. That is, unless you have yourself a permitted metro card. In any case, this is not the kind of place you want to go to. No, lest you face the raft of the Verilisk, giant spiders that breathe like holy hell and hunt in large packs. Did I also mention there were 4 different kinds of them? But if you manage to hunt one, eats poison, and possibly other bits, they'll fetch a great price on the market. And of course, can't forget mentioning the other great beasts within the forest, like the dire wolves, the giant bears. Lots of things to watch out for. Good luck crossing the Boreal. You're going to wish you had a metro card. But back to the big cities. Just about our most important city, besides the capital, is quite possibly the Gorgengasa. This is a large city that latches onto the side of a mountain. This is an important place, as the mountain is where we just get just about all of our gold. The gold being important as well. You've seen how cold things get around here. Yeah? No heat, no live. And so, we rely on the good miners at the Gorgengasa to keep us supplied. They also have other exports, of course, such as the large frost birds that make their home in the mountains. They provide a wonderful and delicious meal for any that may slay them. Moving on. At last, the capital. First, we must talk about the lower portion of the city. Pavlovna. Now, originally, the 2 cities used to be one, but we shall consider that part later. Pavlovna is the main portion of the capital city. It is where a large portion of the population lives. The poor, the not so poor, maybe a rich man or two. After all, not everyone can be fortunate. But hey, you've got to work with what you're given. The people should at least be glad they are kept alive, because everyone up top keeps the heat on. That wouldn't be possible without the military's might and the wealth. But that is not to say the city is not important. It is indeed. Without the Pavlovna, a good amount of the national economy likely wouldn't exist. And we, of course, wouldn't have the other half. Speaking of the other half, the pride and joy of Provda, the great city of Anavolo. Now, as I mentioned, the two cities used to be one and the same. You see, Anavolo used to be a small mountain right next to Pavlovna, but using a gigantic magical levitation crystal, which we did not steal at all, we were able to make the city rise afloat. Now, it is where the richest of the population lives. That and most of the military and the politicians. It is where we keep everything that is important. And only said important people can get to it. That is unless you try to fly up there. But good luck avoiding the anti-air defense. The last majorly important city, Volgada. The city is home to the majority of our navy. That and a good portion of international trade and other such things. Many people born here make good careers in life, taking to the navy or as a merchant or fisherman. Also, there isn't much else to say of it. It is important, yes. Has a decent population, but it has nothing special to offer besides that. Now, the continent really is bigger than the portion of it that we habit. But there is nowhere else to go, quite simply. This is due to a large part of this land being uninhabitable. You see, there is a large land bridge that directly connects the main portion of Provda to the planet's north pole. This, as one might imagine, doesn't do much for us, as that portion is essentially uninhabitable. To anyone less than a crazed scientist walking around in multi-million-dollar equipment, good luck to them. But for the rest of us, it doesn't sound like too good of an idea. Now that you know all about us, what do you think of Provda? Quite fascinating, huh? Well, if you are visiting, enjoy your stay, unless you're one of them Haitians, then. Now, try not to get into any trouble here. If you do, nobody will be able to help you.